Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast Dragonball episode. Today we have Mitchell Osso with us here. How you doing today, man?
Doing pretty good. Excited as always to talk about the chapter and just ready to dive into it.
So today we are talking about Dragon Ball Super chapter number 65. If you heard our last podcast last week, we previewed it. We went over some of the potential spoilers that came out. Now we have the full chapter. We both read the chapter today. A lot to take in and go over and talk about our favorite protagonist ever. So the chapter is called Son Goku, the Earthling. It starts off with Krillin getting there to the fight. He has the Sensu Beans. He's seeing Master Ultra Instinct Goku mopping the floor with Moro, as you guys have all seen. And yeah, Goku blew up a rock. Moro's there. Moro's pretty beat up from that punch heard around the world, which Mitch has stated is now his favorite punch in the whole Dragon Ball franchise. Goku comes behind Krillin, takes the Sensu Beans, and our big pet peeve was confirmed. Goku does give Moro a Sensu Bean, asking him to go back to prison. Moro eats the Sensu Bean and tells Goku that he will go back, but he's not going to go back. He's got to kill Goku. Then even fully healed now, the way Goku's in Master Ultra Instinct, it's not enough to do really any damage to Goku. So then Goku calls Moro sneaky coward. Goku actually goes down from Master Ultra Instinct to normal and kneel and gets in this crouching position, talking to Moro, like, "Hey, have you ever trained before?" Moro said he hasn't. Training's for the weak. Goku's talking about he could be stronger, Moro could be stronger if he trained instead of stealing planets and all of that stuff. Goku's talking about if he was a decent guy, he'd love to fight Moro again after he's gone training. Jocko's basically saying, "What the hell are you doing?" He went back on his word, so I'm expecting some magical change of heart. And for the love of all that's good, just finish him off already, something that me and Mitchell talked about in our preview episode. And Goku he's like, "I know, I will," but he wants to keep talking to him for a little bit longer, which we don't understand. And Goku's still asking him again, "Will you come quietly back to prison or not? Which is it? I need an answer." Moro is then realizing the hand that Merus cut off, and Moro saying, "I'm not going back. You could basically just F that." And then Goku's like, "All right, I promise Merus I protect this galaxy." And then Goku just instantly goes back to Mastered Ultra Instinct, which it's looking like from that, Goku potentially is Mastered Ultra Instinct. And then Moro's asking Goku, who was that Galactic Patrol agent? He means Merus. Goku called him one of his teachers. He taught him how to do Master Ultra Instinct. Moro's asking, it's like, "Oh, so if he taught you how to do it, he probably knows how to do it." Goku's like, "Yeah." Then you see the pic of Merus cutting off Moro's hand. Then Moro gets that hand back, attaches it to himself, and another thing confirmed, he touched Merus. So he gets all of Merus's abilities and powers, and then Moro goes into another transformation, and I think he looks pretty cool, and I don't know if I want to call it his final form, but he looks pretty menacing, pretty sweet. And then we are talking about Moro saying that now he has Merus's abilities. Beerus is asking Whis what the hell's happening. And then Whis explains to Beerus that he copied Moro's powers before he was erased. And then Beerus, and I quote, says, "That dope can't stick a landing for his life." And he was talking about Goku because if you remember, Beerus told Goku to finish the job. And obviously he did not. Krillin's thinking they're doomed. Jocko's even saying, "Are you kidding? That's why I told him to finish him off." So then I'm going to pass it to Mitch because this was actually his favorite scene in the chapter.
Alrighty, from right there, Moro becomes basically Angel Moro's angelic Moro, whatever the correct term is. Well, he gets the angel powers, and the first thing that he does then is he just dashes right towards Goku, punches Goku. Goku blocks, but he gets pushed back a little bit of a distance, and then the battle is on again, and they're going at it. You see, both are extremely fast, very powerful, and if you're looking at the manga chapter, in terms of artwork, pages 24, 25, it's one of my favorite scenes that we have seen in the manga chapters, and that is you got to think that you're like literally you have a like the manga book like opened up like the physical copy, right? And the right side of the page has Goku dashing towards the left, and you see his full silhouette. Almost, I guess you don't see his one foot, but you see his entire body, and his right fist is cocked and ready to be just thrown right at Moro. But then on the left side of the page, you have Moro dashing towards Goku in the center, and his left hand is ready to throw a punch, and they connect in one of the pans, and it's just an overall fantastic art design shot. And Whis, knowing that this collision of fists is going to be a huge amount of energy, teleports Jocko and Krillin away from the battle up to where him and Beerus are watching in the sky, puts a barrier around all four of them to protect them from the blast. And Goku and Moro, they keep fighting. Goku sees the damage that him and Moro just caused to the Earth. So then Goku tells Moro to follow him and they fly off. And really what's going on right now is they're kind of just testing each other's like powers and speed. Well, at least Goku, he's trying to assess the situation essentially. And Moro knows that he's basically on equal playing field with them. And they keep fighting and whatnot. And then Moro, he states to Goku, we're basically, in terms of our abilities, they're evenly matched. There's no difference in speed anymore. And he says, but he still has his magic, which gives him a leg up. Goku, completely still calm, even after all of this shit that's happening. Not phased by that comment by Moro. And Moro asks why, and he wants Goku to be really scared. And Goku goes back on the attack, and he kicks Moro he makes an attempt to try to kick Moro. Moro blocks it with his arm. Well, Goku's kick did a significant amount of damage to Moro's hand, or his arm, I should say, forearm. And Moro states that his body will become stronger to compensate, all the damage. So all of a sudden, Moro's arm gets maybe, like 5 times bigger than what it is. It's just it kind of reminds me of like Zamasu, like Fuse Zamasu, whenever his arm got damaged by Vegito, and then it became this huge purple blob, like Hulk smash kind of hammer. Yeah. Well, then Moro's trying to punch Goku, and Goku gets behind Moro and starts kicking him in the back, kicking him in the arms and the legs, the shoulders, whatever it might be. And anytime he does damage to Moro, it's not really hurting Moro, but his body is just expanding. And Jocko's looking at this like, what's going on? Whis, as always, has the answer, stating that his body is trying to contain all that angel energy, the power that he retrieved, but it's swelling because, as we find out, since Moro has never trained, his body is not accustomed to that kind of godly power. And even Beerus is like, well, that makes sense. God power is nothing that you can just sneeze at. And Moro asks, like what's going on? And like Goku explains that if you guys read the previous chapters, when Moro was pumping all the energy into his henchman, Sangabo, I can't pronounce his name. He had too much power and his body was not accustomed to it, so he basically depleted himself before even Goku could really do much against him. And that's what's happening here. So Moro getting pissed that he can't do anything, is just kind of thinking about what to do. And Goku says, "Everyone has their limits. This is yours." He says that I don't have limits. I've consumed planets my entire life. And Goku just stands by it. You can't do what you're trying to do because you haven't trained for it, as he has. And Whis, Krillin, Jocko, they're watching Goku basically get the upper hand on, huge Moro. He kind of almost looks like Janempa, if we want to compare it to another reference there. But Krillin and Jocko, they're like, okay, Goku has the upper hand. Whis still looking concerned, and he yells over at Goku, "Hey, if you intend to defeat him, you need to do this right now, because it's really unwise for you to not get rid of him now." So Whis knows that shit's about to hit the fan, right? Moro now is on the ground with his face in the dirt, and he states to himself, "I require a body that can handle all of this power," right? And right as Goku is about to blast him and actually end it, you see that Moro's arm kind of digs into the earth, and this is where we get confirmation then finally from the previews that Moro fuses with the earth, and you get some kind of cool shots because even though you see Moro's body kind of on the ground, all of a sudden his face pops out of the ground. His mouth is kind of still half of the earth. Then you actually see his teeth and whatnot. And Goku's just completely surprised. Moro blasts him with a mouth blast. Goku is unfazed by it though. His Ultra Instinct, as I explained earlier in the chapter, because of how much he has honed into it, the power that surges through him, not just his body just deflecting stuff and speed, but his energy can protect him even more. But Moro says that he has fused with the planet. I've done away with my limits, so that's how he is compensating for all of the angel powers he has. And then Whis explains that in order to withstand the power, he fused with the earth, just like I said there. But killing Moro will mean that you would have to destroy the earth itself. Goku is shocked by this. And then Whis also states, and beyond that, his swollen energy will donate, possibly obliterating the entire galaxy. So even if they destroy Moro, through traditional means, they risk also destroying the galaxy. So Moro tells Goku basically, bring it on, and then Goku in complete shock is how the chapter ends. So that's the chapter itself in a nutshell. So I guess now we can dive into our thoughts about it. Oh yeah, so what pissed everyone off across the world did happen, and that was Goku tossing Moro the Senzu Bean. Let me ask you, Martin, now that you've seen it and you've seen what happens, slightly before it, all the stuff happens after it, are you still as frustrated as you were on whatever day that was in which the spoiler came out?
Yeah, I still am. Probably more since now the full chapter came out and pieced things together, because then there's really the Sensu Bean it didn't do anything, because he just got the hand that Merus cut off and took his powers literally a panel after that, and it just made no logical sense even if the goal for Goku was to put Moro in jail, he didn't have to heal Moro to put him in jail. I don't understand why making someone fully healthy, as strong as Moro is, putting him in jail made sense. That made zero sense. So I was still frustrated by it. I don't think I'm not going to be frustrated by it for a while. What do you think?
I don't, in terms of like the story plot, you are 100% right. Why would Goku heal the enemy who he wants to go and ride in a vehicle, with Jocko? There's no purpose in that in terms of like the storyline itself. He could have just left him hurting with no stamina. We would have been cool with that. Now, in terms of like writing, I'm just curious why it was even in there to begin with, because you could have done the entire chapter the exact same way without the senzu bean. You could have had Goku, come out of UI, crouch down, talk to Moro about training and all this other hoopla jazz, and you could have had Goku be like, "Will you go back to jail?" And we would have been cool with it ish. It's like, really, why not just kill this guy? But I'm just trying to get away from the reason for the senzu bean. And it's like all you had to do was basically transition the beginning of the chapter right to the part where Moro sees his severed hand over there by the rock next, surrounded by lava, and then that could have been how Moro catches Goku off guard, attaches the hand, gets Merus' power, bam, there we are. The Senzu Bean was nothing more than just. I start to wonder, and I'm going to paraphrase what you said to me. These weren't the words that you said in our text, but it's basically the idea in which you are saying that it was clickbait. The Senzu Bean was clickbait. It caused an uproar. It was all over Twitter. People wanted to see the chapter. I mean, when like, Shonen Jump, Viz.com, where you can check out the chapter whenever it comes out for free, their server crashes. It's just what everyone wanted to see, wanted to read, wanted to know, wanted to discuss, and they got it. They got exactly what they asked for. And you just wonder if that was really their intent, was that they wanted to get as many people as they could to check this out, which I don't think they needed to piss off the entire world. But the Senzu Bean could have been done away in this entire chapter, and it would not have skipped a beat.
Yeah, every chapter that we've said has had more hype than the next because we want to see what happened next. But this chapter was different. Like, I've been reading these there's more arcs. It's 2 years. It's going to be 2 years officially next month. And the servers have never crashed. And the fact that on this servers for Viz and all that crash on this chapter just means that the community was in such an uproar and they needed to see it for themselves, even if they saw all the spoilers, that they needed to read the official thing to see if they were really going to make Goku that freaking stupid in this chapter. And they did, because the servers weren't back up until 12:30, 1 o'clock, and the chapter comes out at 11. So I think it was because they picked the specific ones that got leaked, and they picked the right ones, and it worked.
Yeah. They definitely planned it, and it wasn't like they did not have a roundtable discussion as to what they wanted to pass out. The only thing that I wonder is, how did Toriyama and Toritaro, how did they react to all of the negativity? You know what I mean? Because there were people that were making they were either making suggestive threats or just flat out threats towards their credibility. Some, it's social media in 2020, and it's been like this ever since the internet came out. Some people are like calling for death threats, and just the extreme crap. And we are talking about just a manga chapter and a story that's being told, and people are just going to flip out. They'll flip out over anything. So I I would like someone to interview them and just maybe in a few years, whenever they can actually look back and reflect. But like, what was their reaction to this? Do they regret it? Do they wish that they didn't take this avenue? And almost, if they didn't, for some people, did they completely rip the foundation for Dragon Ball Super fandom by doing a stunt like that? It's just unnecessary. Unnecessary. It's just dumb.
I got two things on that. One, just to relate it to like wrestling, when they see that a fan base really, really, really hates something and it's not making the money or whatever, they'll call an audible and switch the storyline around. I thought after they saw the Sensu bean, and it was universally negative feedback. I didn't see one big Dragon Ball YouTuber, Twitter person say that, oh, this is a positive thing. I thought they were going to pull an audible and like change that thing, but they didn't. And then with the negative and with the people coming at their lives or stuff like that, yeah, that's crazy and that shouldn't be happening. But when the Broly Super movie came out, Sean, the voice of Goku, quote, and I quote, said, "This isn't a fan base. Dragon Ball is a freaking culture." So when you're coming at someone's culture with idiotic stuff, it does tend to get people a little riled up. And I think that's what really happened this past week.
Yeah, that's true. Because Sean was right on that. It is a culture. Because I mean, you think about like how people like react to religion. When you bash someone's religion or you don't follow by their customs, even if you're not part of like that religion, people can turn the dial up to max. And there's examples that are going on right now in certain countries. I don't want to mention them, just not. That's not how I like to discuss topics. But there was one in the news just last week or 2 weeks ago. You can go look it up. But yeah, you're right, and Sean's right on that. It's not just a fandom; it is a culture, and people invest the time into it, and they have every right to be as pissed off as they are.
For example, both of us were extremely mad about the sensu beans and things like that. And obviously, neither of us made any death threats to Torotaro or Toriyama. But in terms of the culture thing, we've even stated on previous podcasts, we try and maneuver our 20th or the 18th or 19th, whenever the chapter comes. You've even stated that you try and maneuver your lunch break or bathroom break on when the chapters come out. And that's how big a culture this thing is. Like, you maneuver your own stuff around just so you have uninterrupted time to fully read the chapter.
That is true. Yep. If my manager ever truly knew that, I wasn't really trying to use the bathroom. I was just trying to sit there to read a manga chapter. I mean, I don't think I'd get fired by it. Really, what I would try to do is just convince them, hey, this is awesome. And then next thing you know, they'll be in the stall next to me, enjoying they'll be part of the culture. But
so besides the fight scene, that I do like the pages, like seeing it now on my tablet and seeing how they came together. That was really cool. Besides the fight scene, I think my favorite thing about this chapter was the commentary.
Yes.
On Krillin's like, Goku, what are you doing? Jocko, I told you to finish him off. Beerus, I told you to do the job. This guy can't stick the lane for his life. And me personally, I think besides the fight, the second thing was Whis. Like seeing Whis like being 100 steps ahead, seeing what's about to happen. And even him calling out like, Goku, if you're going to finish him, you got to kill him now. Like, I'm looking at that picture right now and I'm like, oh, Whis is even telling you, kill this guy right now. And if Whis is telling you to do something, you got to do it, man, because Whis doesn't get too concerned unless something's really about to go down.
Yep. And about time we had good dialogue from side characters.
Yeah.
We go back to Piccolo screwing it up, and it's about time that Krillin, Jocko, they have good dialogue. Whis is always going to be, it's almost like you could respell his name to Wise. He's only one letter off, and it's good that they all were able to contribute to the chapter itself.
Yeah, that the side dialogue was probably the best it's been in the past couple chapters.
I think with this chapter 2, I think the one thing that it like grinds my gears though is that whenever I look at arcs, I like to try to absorb the idea of what they were trying to do. So, like, with this chapter, we have, we have something completely different. This is not Moro's not a villain who is just brute strength, just magic. I mean, he fuses with the earth. Would anyone have really thought of that? No. You haven't seen a planet try to destroy someone since Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Moro is ego, except it's Dragon Ball, not the MCU. So
and ego was they're not even. It wasn't his Earth. It wasn't Peter Quill's Earth. So did that much repercussions if it got blown up.
So that part that's sweet. That idea is sweet, and I kind of think of Moro absorbing Merus's power, copying Merus's powers. I think that's kind of cool. I think it kind of takes away from divine energy as much. Now, granted, Moro can't handle it, as we can see in this chapter, but it's not, if anybody can just copy it, it's not, for me, it's just not as divine as what I thought it would be. But it still is. It's just, really, I would think that angels are above everything and mortals cannot even compete. Because then I wonder, in all these fan mangas, or when Frieza, and I can't believe I haven't even thought of this, so I'm actually going to just kind of separate.
I was actually going to bring that up. Frieza. I was actually bring up Frieza and actually in Topo, since he's immortal, but he was a god of destruction candidate, the training that Topo had to go through potentially to be able to move with that type of power.
Well, the one thing that I just thought of, is if Moro can copy an angel's power, then I could assume that a mortal theoretically somehow could kill an angel. However that might be, they could. If you could copy an angel, you could defeat an angel. Now that goes back to, okay, what's the next step past an angel? And you have the Grand Priest, or you have Zeno. Now in the fan mangas with Murno is an angel trying to kill the Omni Kings. Well, you're thinking, okay, that's an angel. That's not a mortal. That's an angel. And now I'm looking back to in the anime again. I can't recall if it was in the manga, but when we're in the Tournament of Power and Universe 9 gets wiped out, and Frieza, I think it was right when Universe 9 got wiped out, and Frieza looks up at the Omni Kings and basically states that someday he will rule over them. So that's even a potential foreshadowing of a future arc that Frieza is going to, start killing gods. But that's what seeing Moro at least does for me. Maybe it doesn't make sense to someone, and maybe if someone could enlighten me, maybe it wouldn't even make sense when someone tries to explain to me why it doesn't make sense. But a mortal copying an angel should mean that a mortal could defeat an angel somehow through whatever method that might be. So,
yeah, I think with that too, just thinking about previous episodes that we had, I know one of the questions I was asking with his copying ability is what's the limit? Because I even said if he touches Ultra Instinct, this was at Ultra Instinct Sign when he was whooping Goku when he was at just Sign level, could he copy that? And everyone was saying, I don't think so, yada yada. But I was like, it's a technique. So now seeing him be able to get Merus' abilities, but then because his body's not trained in that way to hold angel power. So it's kind of dangerous, like you just said now. Like the next bad guy could potentially be someone who is body is trained and can like that could be the next step that they're gonna have to fight angel level people next time.
Do you think Majin Buu could absorb a god? I mean, why not?
That's the thing. Yeah, well, why not? His body, from what we saw in Z, was able to adapt fully to anyone he absorbed. He's already absorbed a god. So, but yeah, I think he could, which that begs another. I mean, but Majin Buu's a good guy now. So, but if there's another Majin born, let's say Mira and Toa creating a Majin in the demon realm, and that's like the next saga, and they're watching this fight saying, oh, we can copy angel powers now. We can't train to get to their level, but if we can steal their abilities, that poses a real threat. I don't know if they meant to open that hole, but they did to the fandom.
Yep. And so, yeah, these ideas of what they're doing, I like them. Some things I feel like what I said, they might have downplayed some stuff, but it opens up doors to other possibilities. So I thought this chapter did pretty good on that. But again, the senzu bean was completely unnecessary. Otherwise, I like this chapter. I don't think it's like, the greatest chapter, but I think this is like a good chapter to set up for the climax.
So with this chapter, and it was something I brought up to you before we made this episode, and I've actually been seeing it around too, and I've talked to some other people about this. Goku's reputation now in the fandom. I know this kind of sounded like a sports thing, but it's a legit question now. That has Super ruined Goku's reputation with
As
the
it
fans?
downplayed? Yeah, it's downplayed. Because anybody, especially like the newer audience, you got to go check out the 5 seasons of Dragon Ball. Because, I mean, Goku was the hero in almost every episode, and it was fun to watch. You knew that he would be the one that saves everyone. You didn't know necessarily how until you like figured it out. But he saved the Earth all 5 seasons, and Dragon Ball Z came. Still, you saw Goku as someone that would save the day. He needed a little more assistance in terms of fighting villains, but you always thought that he was the clear number one, and he would get the job done. Cell, he didn't defeat Cell because, I mean, that was just Gohan's arc. They had built Gohan up ever since episode 1 of Dragon Ball Z, when fighting Raditz, he gets angry and he's like a child, like a baby, however old Gohan was at that time. If like that's damaging a Saiyan, a full-grown Saiyan, and then you saw Gohan in the Frieza arc, and you saw him grow up, So it makes sense that Goku took a step back in that arc. Granted, again, he gave a senzu bean then to Cell, but oh well. And then the Buu arc, Goku was dead for a lot of that. Then he came back, but he had to work with Vegeta and Hercule to overcome that. So it just, Goku was always seen as a hero, but then we get into Super. What has Goku done? Goku, any new fan to the series does not understand why older generation has such a higher respect for Goku, because we've seen what he did in Dragon Ball, what he did in Z, at least up to the end there. In Super, okay, he fought Beerus. Okay, that one's fine. That one's fine. I mean, he lost, but it's not like Beerus destroyed the planet. He changed Beerus. Frieza came back. He didn't finish the job. He got the Earth destroyed because, well, he didn't really get it destroyed. Kind of Vegeta did, but he got blasted in the back because he wasn't paying attention. He could have just finished Frieza. And the only reason why he saved the Earth was because Whis rewind time. So he needed Whis to set him up for success. And then, Universe 6, Universe 7, the little exhibition match that they had, there's really no stakes in that one. You didn't feel like a sense of urgency. Whoever the winner was got Earth, between Universe 6 and 7. It's not like would anyone on the planet have known who their god of destruction was? No. So then that one, now Zamasu, again, that arc was cool. The arc was good. You couldn't really. Everyone kind of struggled with fighting a god who was immortal, but Goku didn't solve that fight. The only thing that he did was summon Zeno because he got a little button. So it's like Goku getting a Staples easy button does not make him a good protagonist. It's just a cool way of ending the arc and Tournament of Power. He had a cool moment, but he's not the one who defeated Jiren. He had to have Frieza help him. And now in the Broly movie, since that's technically canon, even there's no manga or anime for it, he had to fuse with Vegeta. And now in the Moro arc, who knows if Goku's going to be the one that actually figures it out. But we'll see. So maybe, hopefully Vegeta will come and somehow use his, forced spirit fission. Maybe he'll use that. If they don't use that, this arc makes no sense. Why would you introduce that and you have a perfect opportunity of diffusing Moro from the Earth with Vegeta, who we all want, but it's like, even if that happens, we're going to sit here and be like, Goku made the mistake of getting Senzu Bean, not preventing the hand being absorbed from Moro, almost risked the entire planet being destroyed or consumed, and Vegeta or someone else had to bail him out. So yeah, what you said?
Yeah.
Super has not helped. I'll say Super has not helped Goku. This arc, though, has hurt Goku more, but the Super has not helped him.
I even want to dive even deeper into that as you were going through Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. And I want to focus on Z, I guess the last two arcs, the Cell and Majin Buu arc. And people forget how Goku matured significantly in those two arcs. The Senzu Bean to Cell, look, if he didn't give a Senzu Bean to Cell, Gohan never would have won Super Saiyan 2 during that fight, because Super Saiyan Gohan might have mopped Cell at that point because he just finished fighting Goku. But people forget that Goku didn't want to get Wish back for the simple reason that he realized these people come for him. Like, he is the reason all these bad guys come to Earth and the Earth's in danger and all this stuff. And he put it upon himself, like, you know what? I don't need to come back. You guys are fine. These people come for me. I don't want to put the Earth in any more danger than I already have. Just keep me dead. And they had 7 years of peace. And then when you get to the Majin Buu arc, Goku even stated multiple times the reason that he was so hard on Goten and Trunks and why he was disappointed in Gohan, then happy that Gohan became Ultimate God. He realized he's not going to be around forever. He can't be the one to continuously save the Earth, because sooner even though he's saying time comes for everyone and death comes for everyone, there's going to be time where he's permanently dead, and as permanent as you can be in Dragon Ball. So Goku was trying to bring up the next generation, which you would think is crazy seeing Super Goku. You would never think that same Goku had the mindset that he had in Z, that we need to bring the next generation, even including the next generation. That's the reason he left with Oob. And Vegeta stated that at the end, that he's going to train Oob to uphold the peace, because Earth needs a protector. So when someone who hasn't watched Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball and they're watching Super, they're probably thinking Goku's a real dick, and they haven't seen the Goku that people in the 90s and the 80s grew up with. The I am the hope of the universe Goku. The power comes in response to a need, not a desire Goku. they're seeing this Goku who
He's
kind of
arrogant.
selfish. Besides, and arrogant. Besides the cool moment in Battle of Gods where he's like, "I will not let you destroy my world." He has not really been about the like being I am the hope in the universe Goku, which I know a lot of people say that Japanese they do Goku a lot differently than they've dubbed him in America, and that's why he's so popular and all that stuff. But it's not the same, and it stinks because I think he's my favorite anime protagonist. But Super is not helping me in any arguments to defend the man because his decisions have been bad, and that's why I just think that this is hurting his rep. And then there's something else too in the chapter because we talked about this a couple podcasts ago. Are we okay with that he was able just to go from normal to master an ultra instinct in a blink of an eye?
I don't.
Because I'm not okay with it. Because you literally have stated on here that you do not want this man to master this in the one arc after.
Yeah, I don't like that he just is going in and out of it. I hope that it would be like, okay, since he just like entered it and then he exited, he could like enter it back, like enter into it like at that moment. But if like a week went past, like he would kind of like forget. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing like a game of basketball or whatnot, as long as you don't take a truly long break, you can basically get into the next game. Not a problem. If you play one game and then you don't do anything for a week, you're going to come back and the game's just not going to feel as smoothly. You know what I mean? So that's what I hope is what'll happen. Just because Goku was in it like 60 seconds prior, whenever he exits out of it, he can get back into it. That's fine. But it doesn't look like that's going to be. It looks like now Goku completely knows how to go in and out of it. And here we go. Ultra Instinct is going to be the next Super Saiyan Blue, not defeat a damn person, and going to basically be a washed up technique.
Yeah, I don't like it either because they're already talking about going into the next arc. So if this guy can go Ultra Instinct at will, you're obviously you have the powers. Well, even though we don't talk about the scale anymore, next bad guy has to be comparable to make him go into that. Because if he's fighting a bad guy and he's fighting him at like Super Saiyan 2, we're all like, oh, this bad guy has no threat because we have mastered Ultra Instinct that we could tap into at any time. So I want to go back to the end of this chapter. So Moro's fused with the Earth. If Goku kills Moro, Earth goes. So this is we've had some high stakes, but through all the things, Kid Buu is the only one to actually to be able to successfully kill everyone on Earth, basically, and destroy Earth. And you've already hit on it for the previews for 66. A lot of people already are thinking that Vegeta is going to be the one able to split Moro and the Earth. If that is possible, I don't know if it is, but if it is, does Moro have another plan? Or does Goku try and be an idiot and says, please just go to jail and not finish him off? Or what do you think is going to happen?
I'm not really sure because like my prediction last chapter was that if this chapter is going to end, I said that it was going to end in like, one or two chapters and Goku would be the one to defeat Moro. That was like right when everyone like MUI and the gut punch and all the other fun jazz. And then I said if Vegeta or Majin Buu get involved, this arc's going at least like 5 more chapters. From that preview, the tweet in which DBS Hype posted on Twitter, if chapter 66 is the climax of this fight, then I don't know. I'm like, so Vegeta's just going to come about and be like, I can separate the two, and then he punches the Earth, and then bam, Moro's back. Well, then Goku's just going to Kamehameha him, like, and that's it. Like, that's kind of boring, especially whenever seeing all this. I mean, I really thought they were going to give up their god powers to seal away Moro's magic before they blast them to hell. But I don't know how you can do that in one more chapter. I don't know how you can tell that story in 48 pages or whatever it might be.
This is what I think is going to happen to try and combine some of your previous predictions. With I don't think Boo's coming. I think that's officially dead.
Won't that be disappointing to you though? Like the beginning of this arc 2 years ago showed the Grand Supreme Kai or the Kaio, and then you showed I think it was I forget which the big Supreme Kai quadrant. I think it was like the Southern Grand Supreme Kai, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You saw a flashback of them fighting Moro, and then you learned that how they defeated him was they sealed away his magic and put him in jail. And then we're on Namek. Majin Buu shows up, who was absent for the Tournament of Power. He shows up, turns into the Kaio, and then we haven't seen him since early 2019. Whenever that part of
yeah, well, yeah, that's true. It's true. I just don't think it's happening now. I think that their ship is coming back.
Would you be disappointed?
But I do think. I mean, I would, because I mean, they made it seem like a big deal. I was reading some of the previous chapters where he was actually beating up Moro quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
Moro's magic didn't affect Buu. Like he was the only one who had that immune. Like he was immune to that. Like.
Yeah, it sucks. They just, and I guess when we fully talk about the arc and missed opportunities, I feel like that would be the top thing. But in terms of 66, what I think is going to happen, just to combine some things, I will go with the fandom right now till further notice that Vegeta is going to split Moro with the Earth. I think it's going to take a lot of juice, but I think he's going to do it. I don't know how he's going to be able to touch the ground if Moro is the Earth, because he could just knock Vegeta off. So we'll just figure that stuff out. But I do think once Moro's separated from the Earth, I actually don't think Goku's going to be the one to kill him. I actually think after seeing this stuff now and seeing Goku piss around, I think as soon as Moro's separated, Beerus is coming from behind him and he's Akaiing his ass. I really think that's what's about to happen. Because he's going to be like, I let you try and do it. You didn't do it. You almost got all of us killed. If this galaxy goes, they're coming for Beerus's head. Like, what happened? So he's going to Hakai him. That's what I think right now is
I would love that. I would love if the chapter didn't end like on like a super high note. Like if they diffuse Moro from the Earth and then Beerus or even Whis, like if Beerus says Whis destroy Moro, like, that would be awesome. That would be so good, because then I would hope that they would look at Goku and be like, this is no time to celebrate. You need to grow up. You need to figure it out. You are the problem. You are worse than Moro. You are worse than Frieza. You are worse. Just have that kind of like ending to it, because then you can give Goku an arc where he gets character development.
Yeah, which is crazy thinking that we're talking about character development for a guy we've seen who's 5 or whatever, 12 or whatever he was in America, to a guy who's a freaking grandfather. So I really feel like Beerus is gonna, as soon as we set and possibly the galaxy, now you're going into Beerus's territory because he's the destroyer around here, not you. So I'm thinking that, okay, that's a slight thing, like, okay, Lord Beerus, you can get involved in Hakai this guy because he's messing.
I would love to
stuff.
see. I would love to see like Whis or like Beerus just pummel Goku. Just be like, just kind of just teach a lesson. It would be awesome. And
two things with Whis now. You brought up Whis and the pummeling of Goku. And now to even tie it back into your other thing, What if, for his action, we strips Goku
Can
of
he
his
do
god
that?
powers?
In theory, I'd be all
I
for
mean,
that. I don't know if that could be done. It actually would be funny if, like, Majin Buu comes and they find out how to. They use the technique that he did to seal away Moro's magic, but they use it on Goku's god powers. Yeah, that'd be kind of funny.
but I don't think
No,
Boo would take part in that. The Boo part. That's the thing. Whis would have his own free will, and it's seeming that Whis can do anything. I mean, I saw him. A woman was pregnant for 9 months, and instead of having natural birth, he put his wand on her, and the baby came out, and she lost all the
yeah,
baby weight.
yeah,
So
you're right on that. And yeah, I mean, I don't. I think that would be cool. I just don't know what part that would serve in the storyline. I don't know. It'd be like, okay, Goku,
well,
you don't deserve this power. When you do, I'll give it back.
hmm?
I don't know if that would be.
Well, you brought up earlier ego in the MCU. This that would exactly be like Thor and Odin when Thor was arrogant, and what did Odin do? He took his powers, cast them aside, and Thor had to go through a redemption arc to get his powers back.
Yeah,
Goku could do the same
that's
thing.
true. That's very true.
I don't know, man. We're gonna have to see. November 20th, last chapter, Moro arc, allegedly. Always allegedly, if something changes. This is it. 2 years, climactic, final 45 to 48 pages. And it happens November 20th. We're obviously going to be paying attention to every spoiler leak that comes out around then, and we'll be back to talk about that. Mitch, do you have any last words on this crazy chapter 66 preview?
I
Anything?
think
Goku's legacy?
no, nothing really in terms of this. I think one video I'd like to do. We still have to do that one video that was recommended to us about what was it, the top fights or top 10 characters.
Characters in all of Dragon Ball, the whole entire Z.
I think
Ball,
I think
G,
one
yeah.
one discussion I'd like to have with you, and maybe if maybe we can have like maybe a more open discussion with maybe someone else too. But like, what would have made other arcs better? Like, what were our predictions in those arcs? Do we believe?
Mm-hmm.
Grant, everyone's going to think that they're a genius, they're smart, they should be the writer. But like, did our ideas, would they have made for a better story? Would they have set up for the future better, or did we get surprised and what the writers did for that respective arc, did that outdo what we thought of? Because we've, and everyone does, but we've predicted like what we think would happen, that we would base it off of this has happened or this is what was established, so this would make sense. Oh, and then we'd be like, oh my gosh, this can lead to this in here or another arc, or this could connect to GT and finally make GT canon. It's like, I think I'd like to try to have a discussion about that because
Yeah, that's definitely a thing that we can definitely do. I know that we told people we wouldn't. We did take a little hiatus from the Dragon Ball and stuff. We waited till the leaks came out to preview and then talk about that. So we did have a couple of weeks without no Dragon Ball stuff. And with this moral thing being the last chapter, and it's not till basically Thanksgiving week, we should definitely try and have that discussion sometime in November. I do know right now, off the top of my head, I feel like if all my stuff that I wanted to happen in the Goku Black arc happened, it would have been significantly, because I put a lot of effort into those things I was crafting for that. But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what comes to the top of
The
my
Goku
head.
Black Zamasu arc, we definitely had different ideas than what actually happened, and yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit those old ideas and trying to make those predictions because that was an exciting time. And even this arc at the very beginning was a very exciting time. But we'll have to touch base on those kind of ideas again. So
yeah, definitely hold us to it. We will get that episode to you guys.
Nope, that's it for me.
Is it. Anything else, Mitch? All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Wherever you're listening, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, make sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe. I see you guys are listening to these episodes. I see you guys are liking the episodes. I see the views. Want to definitely hear from you guys. Definitely start dropping some comments. The Dragon Ball ones get a lot of traction because, like we've always said, it's not just an anime, it's a freaking culture. So let us know what you guys are thinking. Just like that one fan, let us know what other things you want us to tackle, and we will be here to tackle those things because we don't know what you guys want us to talk about unless you guys drop some comments. And I know that's what Mitchell's been searching for when he checks the Dragon Ball and stuff on YouTube.
I want to talk to you guys because when Martin and I are shooting ideas off on each other, I mean, sometimes I think I'm the smartest person in the world, but then Martin, reminds me that unfortunately that's not always the case. And then, but that helps me sharpen my knowledge on topics and open my eyes to stuff I may have missed. So please, if you got anything that you want to discuss or you want me to research, look into, and shed light on, or whatnot, yes, please leave a comment down in the box below, wherever you might be looking, and help us out. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah. As he said, ditto. Got nothing more to say on that. Besides, make sure you check out the other episodes. Check out the preview of 65 if you haven't read 65. Check out our other Dragon Ball episode. Check out the other episodes, the wrestling episodes with Jacob, NFL football with Justin. I know one that's become real popular, especially with the hard-working ladies out there, the women in sports, with Chelsea Police. I know a lot of women have been getting back to her saying that they can relate to a lot of things that she has stated. So definitely give that a listen and listen to our other stuff too. There's something for everyone on the channel. That's the point of the channel. And with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.